Guys, I'm going to tell you, I know that we cannot have religious tests for office, but we actually really do need financial literacy tests for office because I put it on everything that I love. That most of these politicians are simply financially illiterate, and a vast majority of the financially illiterate politicians out there are so-called progressives, right? Who literally don't understand how financial markets works or how unrealized gains works from stock appreciation, right? They don't understand it at all, right? They think that, hey, you know what? This on paper is what your net worth is. They equate that with income and think that, hey, yeah, we can just take it, right? The government should just be able to confiscate it from you and just take it from you, even though that is not real money, right? It's not actually income. And it is embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing when politicians, progressive politicians like Pramila Jayapal, come out here and push policies like the unrealized capital gains tax, which really is just wealth theft, right? That's what it is. And then tries to tell us that, hey, we're better at using the money than the best capital allocators in the world, right? Love or hate Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, they're billionaires and they're rich because they actually know how to allocate capital efficiently. They can do something that the government simply cannot do, right? And they say, the progressives say, hey, we can use that money better than those guys, right? We're going to fund universal pre-K, childcare, housing. We're going to keep people dependent on the government forever, right? We're going to eradicate poverty, right? Well, tell us how that's been working out, right? As we spent, over $20 trillion on the war on poverty, right? And we still have the same amount of people in poverty according to the official metrics, right? Again, by the time we started back in the 1960s, and back then the poverty rate was like 19%. And since then, up to 2012, it has failed to 15%. So we're talking about a modest decrease in the poverty rate. And we spent $20 trillion on this so-called war on poverty, right? Now, again, some people say that the problem is the official government statistics, right? That's the problem. It's the way they actually measure it. That's what some people say, right? They say, well, it doesn't count the actual government programs that people get and that effect that it has on people's lives and poverty. They say that the poverty rate is much lower. Well, my rebuttal to that is that maybe you should fix how the government measure it. I only can argue with what the government data gives me, but something tells me that the government doesn't want to change the way they measure it because, well, if you keep it high, if you say nothing's changed, then hey, you know what? We can keep asking for more money, right? We can keep asking for more money. But I do find it hilarious how the poverty rate has fell under the Trump administration significantly if you compare it to the Obama administration. But nobody ever says anything about that, right? These so-called tax cuts for the rich that the progressives say that the Trump's tax cuts were, again, I'm just saying, correlation doesn't equal causation, but I'm just saying, the poverty rate under Trump fell quite a bit. But yes, the government is going to keep asking for your money and keep begging for your money in the name of fighting poverty in big government programs. And Elon Musk has actually responded to this, right? These calls from the politicians for more of his money by basically saying that eventually they run out of other people's money and then they will come for you. Yeah, I mean, that's basically how it works, right? It always starts with the billionaires, right? Tax them. Okay, and then eventually, right after you tax them, you realize that, hey, that's not enough money, right, to fund all these big government programs that allow us to keep our jobs. We need the middle class people's money, right, and those poor people's money. That's what they do. That's how it always works. But it's not just the U.S. politicians asking for Elon Musk's money. You also have the UN, right? The UN is begging Elon Musk for some of his unrealized gains, right? Begging for some of his money and his wealth. As I think the director of the UN's like World Hunger Program thing, he basically went on CNN and begged Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos in the most pathetic way possible for some of their money in order to help solve world hunger.
You have been calling on a smallish cohort of individuals that you say can help end this crisis. US billionaires alone have gotten over $1 trillion richer during the pandemic. You're asking those billionaires who are going to space the likes of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos to help. Are they helping?
The governments are tapped out. And this is why, and this is when the billionaires need to step up now on a one-time basis, $6 billion to help 42 million people that are literally going to die if we don't reach them. It's not complicated. And this is what's heartbreaking. I'm not asking them to do this every day, every week, every year. We have a one-time crisis, a perfect storm of conflict, climate change, and COVID. It's a one-time phenomenon. I've got 43 nations with 42 million people in IPC level 4 knocking on family's door. Just help me with them one time. That's a $6 billion price tag. Jeff Bezos' net worth increase just last year during COVID was $64 billion. I'm just asking for 10% of your net worth increase. Just last week, Elon Musk had a $6 billion net worth increase one day. One day. The 400, there's a bunch of them, but just 400, the top 400 billionaires in the United States, the net worth increase was $1.8 trillion in the past year. All I'm asking for is 0.36% of your net worth increase. I'm for people making money, but God knows I'm also for you helping people who are in great need right now. The world's in trouble, and you telling me you can't give me 0.36% of your net worth increase to help the world in trouble in times like this? What if it was your daughter starving to death? What if it was your family starving to death? Wake up, smell the coffee, and help. I mean, I ask any billionaire, come with me. Just come with me on one trip and let me show you the reality. This isn't some humanitarian scheme to raise money. I want to put the World Food Program out of business. But my God, people are dying out there. Every 4 seconds, someone's dying out there from hunger-related causes. We've got solutions. We got a vaccine for this. It's called money, food. It's easy. Billionaires need to step up.
Billionaires need to step up, he says. Now, look, guys, I'm not one of these people that's, against, rich people paying taxes. Obviously, I'm actually am for people paying taxes. I think you do need taxes and some government programs beneficial. However, I think that the fair share is just a flat tax, right? That's what I think your fair share is, but nobody ever wants a flat tax, right? Nobody likes flat taxes. So I don't know, man. My definition of fair share is different from everybody else's, but this guy right here, again, is begging Elon Musk for money that technically he doesn't have, right? Or it's unrealized, okay? He's begging him for money. He said, look, give us this one-time donation. We just need this one-time donation for this crisis, right? Keep in mind, this organization already gets billions of dollars per year in donations, right? Billions of dollars per year in donations. It still has hunger all over the place, right? But we just need this one-time donation more, right? So then next year, we come back and ask for another one-time donation, okay? And slowly over time, that's going to eat at Elon Musk's net worth 2% every single time until he doesn't have anything anymore. That is essentially what a lot of these people actually really want. But Elon Musk has responded to this. And he says, hey, listen, I will donate to help end world hunger if the UN can actually prove that the funds being used will actually go towards that, right? So Elon Musk is acting a fool. All right, so let's read here. Last week, the director of the United States World Food Program said if the world's top billionaires just donated a fraction of their worth, millions of people who are at risk of starving to death can be saved. Elon Musk, the second wealthiest person in the world, said he'd give up some of his wealth only if he knows exactly where the money is going. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Progressives hate that, right? Because they always use lines like, oh, if the wealthy just gave up X amount, we could solve world hunger and blah, 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 blah. But again, the details on how you're actually going to spend that money, they don't actually really ever care about that, right? But that's the most important part. And Elon Musk is asking for proof, right? He's asking for receipts, okay? David Beasley, the director of the food program, said on CNN last week that a one-time donation from the top 400 billionaires whose net worths are ever growing in the U.S. could help save the lives of 42 million people this year. Quote, the world's in trouble and you're telling me you can't give me 0.3% of your net worth increase to help the world in trouble in times like this, he said. What if it was your daughter starving to death? What if it's your family starving to death? Wake up and smell the coffee and help, right? Give me your money. If WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will help solve hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. Again, Elon Musk saying, put your money where your mouth is. Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, who has an estimated net worth of $151 billion, according to Forbes, replied to a tweet questioning the group's figures. If WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell my Tesla stock right now and do it, Musk wrote. But it must be open source accounting so the public sees precisely how the money is spent. Ding, 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 ding. Again, if you ask the government to do this, they wouldn't be able to do it, right? They wouldn't be able to do it, which again is the issue, right? We give trillions of dollars to the government every single year. And when they actually open up the books, right, we see that they're sending money all over the place to, help girls programs in Afghanistan and stuff like that, right? But yet they want to talk about how we need more tax money, more money for so-called poverty here in the United States, right? But again, everything is so dire in the United States, but we have money to send overseas to other countries, right? And there's no accountability for how they're using this money, and therefore people stay poor, despite the fact that we're literally sending billions of dollars a year to programs like this. Again, it's crazy, but yet these people continue to ask for more and more and more of our taxpayer dollars, right? Beasley said the organization has systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Your team can review and work with us to be totally confident of such, he replied. I can assure you that we have systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Your team can review and work with us to be totally confident of such. Beasley also responded to the question about the group's existing spending, including $8.4 billion in 2020. The $8.4 billion you refer to covers what we need to reach 115 million people in 2020 with food assistance. He said, we need $6 billion plus now on top of our existing funding requirements due to the perfect storm from the compounding impact of COVID, conflict, and climate shocks. Okay, wait. Again, so you need $6 billion now just for this year, right? For what's going on right now. So again, you're saying this is a one-time donation until the next crisis, right? Where you're going to be asking for more money, right? Again, this is how these people work. And that's what Elon Musk and a lot of, fiscal conservatives have alluded to when it comes to, the government and these big institutions asking for more money, right? It always starts with the billionaires first until they run out of their money. And then they come for you, because it sounds like this guy is going to continue to ask for more money over time until he bleeds these people dry, right? That's how this stuff goes. He also shared an NBC News article which explains how the current hunger crisis is a toxic cocktail of conflict, climate change, disaster, structural poverty, and inequality. COVID-19 has made it worse, and on its website, the program said it needs $6 billion to avert worldwide famine this year. $6 billion will not solve world hunger, but it will prevent geopolitical instability, mass migration, and save 42 million people on the brink of starvation and an unprecedented crisis and a perfect storm due to COVID, conflict, climate crisis, Beasley said in another tweet. He also tweeted that with Musk's help, the organization can bring hope, build stability, and change the future. Let's talk. It isn't as complicated as Falcon Heavy, but too much at stake to not at least have a conversation. I can be on the next flight to you. Throw me out if you don't like what you hear, he wrote. Boy, this dude is a salesman, bro. He is a salesman. He's the annoying salesman that just keeps calling, right? To which Musk replied, please publish your current and proposed spending in detail so people can see exactly where the money goes. Sunlight is a powerful thing. The World Food Program says famine is declared when malnutrition is widespread and people have started dying of starvation through lack of access to sufficient nutritious food. People in 43 countries are on the very edge of famine and risk of starvation, including Afghanistan, the Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, Haiti, Honduras, South Sudan, Uganda, Venezuela, Yemen, and Zimbabwe. Again, all these countries, we probably send a massive amount of money to. Millions, if not billions of dollars to. I know the Clintons have been heavily involved in Haiti, right? And nothing has really changed there. But they want more money, right? More money to solve these problems. And a lot of these places are run by corrupt governments. I mean, Afghanistan is run by the Taliban, right? Imagine what would happen to our money if we sent it to a country like Afghanistan for the Taliban to use that money for, right? Okay, but they want us to send more money there, right? Keep giving them money. And Elon Musk is only right to ask for transparency, right? Which is literally a progressive's worst nightmare, right? Which is a bureaucrat's worst nightmare, transparency, right? So, like I said, who knows if this guy will open up the books on this to actually show people what the money is being used for and how it's being used. Because, hey, I seriously have doubts. But, if they actually really want to get money out of Elon Musk, the easiest way to do it is to probably accuse him of racism. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.